Hello and welcome to the first tutorial video for the Medeek Truss extension for Blender. My name is Nathaniel P. Wilkerson, and today I wanted to introduce to you guys this new extension that I've created for Blender. Essentially what it is it's the Medeek Truss plugin, originally written in SketchUp starting about 11 years ago, I guess 2015. And recently I have worked on porting it into Blender. So what you're seeing here on these kind of screenshots here on my front page is examples of the extensions within SketchUp. And so what I've been trying to do now is port some of them into Blender. And so I've started with the Truss plugin. So what we want to do is go here off the main web page, click the Resources tab, and you'll see that I have listed, of course, at the very top, all of the Medeek BIM extensions, or the SketchUp extensions, starting with the Truss and the other 5 or 4, and then of course the other ones that I'm working on. And then down here just a little further, you'll notice now that I've added the Medeek BIM for Blender extension library, and of course there's only one added right now, and that is the Medeek Truss. And so I've just started work on that. I've just released the very first kind of beta version of it. It's not the full version yet, so we'll go ahead and click on that, and it takes you to the web page for the Medeek Truss for Blender. All right, so this is, notice we've got 0.9.5 as the release number or version number, and that is because it's not full featured yet. Essentially what we've got is all the common trusses now in there, and then that's it. So right now, we have the ability to create some common trusses. I'm going to demonstrate that shortly. But I just want to show you guys real quickly the web page. You scroll down through here, you can get a little bit of information about it. Again, it's very, very similar to the SketchUp plugin. It's just that I've ported this out over now into Blender. So really the functionality is going to be the same. There will be some differences, of course, but and the look and feel, of course, may be a little different, especially with the UI being so different. But yeah, it's pretty much the same. Notice too that the price is very, very reasonable right now. I probably will up that price a little bit as time goes on and I completely get this ported over, but I do want to try to keep it at a very reasonable price for everyone, just to keep that the bar or the gate a little low so the entry isn't so high. Some instructions here with installation, and then of course right down toward the bottom we have the change log. Of course there's not much in there yet. I've just added one entry, which is basically yesterday I released it. Okay, so let's jump into Blender real quick. Let's put this away. So what we've got here is basically I've taken this little cube or box and changed the dimensions of it so that it's kind of like a typical little shed almost footprint. Again, I'm not really that well, to be honest, I'm not well versed in Blender at all. I've really only started using it about 2-3 weeks ago, I guess, just because I was trying to understand how it all works. So I'm brand new, basically brand new to Blender, so you'll have to forgive me if I don't if I miss a few things here. But basically I've got this here yeah, footprint. Let's just assume these are walls. So first things first, you want to jump into your preferences, and you can install. Let me put that over there. You can see you've got the Medeek Truss here installed. You just obviously, I'm not going to go through how to install extensions, how to uninstall, but yeah, it's pretty simple. So basically you're going to get this sidebar, right? So I'm going to click that, and then down here you're going to get the Medeek sidebar. So what we've got right now is currently these 3 items: basic roofs, complex roofs, and global settings. So complex roofs, none of these actually are functional yet, and also with basic roofs, the only one that's actually functional right now is the draw roof truss. We're going to go through that, but before we do, you want to take a look at your global settings. You want to set these up. Okay, so the global settings basically is all the settings that are your default settings, right? And I suggest that you want to set these up before you really get started into this. Some of these, are a little more, I wouldn't call them exotic, but a little more involved. So typically you're going to have them turned off, like truss plate connectors. You may or may not want those on, and the hurricane ties and all that, but you can turn those on and off. The ones that I would probably turn on is the gable end trusses. As you see, I already turned that on. And I think most of these are turned off by default. So yeah, definitely jump into your global settings first, get those set up, turn on your gable end trusses, turn on your advanced options. All the annotation callouts right now, as of the making of this video, which is August 10th, there is no annotations currently created, but we'll be getting there, so that will come into play later. Construction dimensions, I think this is automatically turned on already. And then subtractive geometry, this one is something that's part of the extension with a SketchUp plugin, but right now it doesn't actually apply. So basically set your settings and hit the Save Settings button down here. Now each one of these little sub panels that opens up has its own little save settings, so you need to make sure that you click that when you change anything within each one of these sub panels. All right, under collections, this is essentially the same idea as layers or tags within SketchUp, and you kind of can set what you want those names to be custom names if you don't, whatever you would like to set up. I'm just going to stick with all the defaults for now. I don't see any reason to change those. All right, the one thing that I would change though, and is probably turned off by default as soon as you install this plugin, is you want to make sure you have the auto assign materials turned on. I'm not sure why I have that turned off by default, but you probably want that turned on. I'm also going to turn on the wood lumber texture to wood from just. Basically what happens here is that one of these is like a wood texture and one of these is like just a plain color. So wood looks a little more realistic. Let's go ahead and save that. And then sheathing and cladding. Okay, so this will be, you can turn these on and off. So by default, it will turn these on. Floor sheathing, of course, is only going to apply for attic trusses. I'm not worried about that right now. But everything else is pretty much turned on. Hip and ridge cap, chips and sheathing. I'll just leave that off. Let's just hit Save Settings there. And then, of course, you can go ahead in here and you can get soffit and fascia set up. You can get gutters set up. And gutters actually is really kind of cool. Let's go ahead and turn that on just for the heck of it. And then you'll notice you're going to get like a little preview, and you've got different gutter types. So, like, you've got a U6 and a K5. These are kind of your standard American, I guess, North American gutter types. And obviously, you might want to, I'm going to turn this actually to silver just so the color's a little different. And save settings on that. But if you want to get a preview of that, you can open this little window here, and it gives you you can look at these dimensions and make sure everything's what you want. So yeah, the preview, this obviously too small really. It just kind of gives you the general shape. All right, so I think we saved the settings there. Let's just double hit one more time just to make sure. All right, so I think we're ready to go. Yeah, set your global settings up first. Click your Draw Roof Truss, and then you'll instantly be given this matrix of trusses. Now, right now, currently, only the common truss is an option that's available. All these other trusses I will be porting in, but each one is kind of separate and special, and so there's just a lot of data and a lot of calculations involved. So let's go ahead and hit the common truss. And now you'll be presented with this draw menu, along with a cursor, of course. But let's just minimize some of these. Now you can kind of collapse your menu here, which is kind of nice. So you can collapse all these items. Now collapsing them doesn't mean it turns off those items. It just means that visually they're collapsed, so you don't have to look at them all. And the problem is when you have all of these open at once, the menu just gets really big and hard to work with, in my opinion. So you have the most important thing I think is this roof placement little sub panel here. You got this vertex snap, you got grid snap, you got ortho, and you can play around with all these, but I think the important one for me is the vertex snap, because now it's going to allow me, you notice how it's basically inferencing or snapping to these corners. So that is important. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to turn on the basic options. Take a look at my options here. Probably leave most everything as default. I'm just taking a look at it here. Not raised heels, gable and trusses on. And of course you can turn on and off your hurricane ties or everything. Turn on the advanced options. Okay, so if the advanced options are turned off, you'll notice that all of these other menu or sub panels go away. So I'm going to turn those on. And now you'll notice you got a whole bunch of options here, right? So let's look at the roof sheathing. Yes, we've got that turned on. Cable wall sheathing turned on. Subfascia, let's just look at that. Just leave all that as default. The roof cladding is turned on, and we've got, what was it, Ico, Cambridge, Weatherwood or something. Cable wall sheathing, which can go with that hardy plank. And then a lot of these other ones, I mean, you'll probably not turn them on, but you could. I mean, they're just whatever you want to do. There's roof returns, roof battens, and counter battens. All of that's turned off. Ceiling gypsum if you want that. We'll just leave that as is. Finish fascia and soffit. So this will actually do finish fascia and soffit. And of course, gutters and downspouts. I'm going to turn the gutters on, leave it as that default. I'm not going to turn the downspouts on. That should be fine. And then of course, ceiling insulation that's turned off. And then there's some other advanced options here with regards to cutting the soffit. And these two other items, I don't know that they actually do anything right now. So let's just not worry about those. All right, so we've got everything we want. Hit update, make sure. And by the way, if you do change something, you'll notice, and this is why I like the collapse thing. You can just collapse all these so you can navigate this menu way faster. But yeah, so like let's say we change this to a 612 pitch roof, right? Okay, so up here above this, it's going to show red. It says, hey, you need to update your parameters. So that means you just need to hit click update so that the parameters that you've changed will now be live in the tool. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this. So 3 points. What you want to do is you want to start with your left side corner, front corner, then your right side. That will determine the span of your truss, and then you go back from that, and that will determine the length. So I'll demonstrate. So we'll click here. We're going to click this vertex. Notice it snaps right to that 24 foot. And now you can see it's giving us like a little wireframe preview. And then you click here at the back and just 3 clicks. Give it a second, and there is your roof. All right. So as you can see, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We got our gutters, we got our sheathing, cladding, etc. As far as now, I'm going to click the N key. Actually, before I do that, let me just show you something here. So editing, yes. So if you click, now I'm not exactly sure, this is where I've had some issues with the porting, I guess, or at least not so much issues, but just me trying to understand how things work in Blender. Typically in SketchUp, you right click on a group, and the whole group is, an assembly. But here, when you click on something, you click on these separate items within kind of this container. That's what I call it, as a container, an empty container. But either way, I have it set up so that if you right click, it will find the main container or the roof assembly that this sheathing or cladding belongs to, and you'll notice it pops up here in the context menu. So you can click here, you can regen the roof, you can edit the truss assembly. Now regen basically just takes all the settings that you currently have and it just rebuilds the roof from scratch. So in other words, if you somehow mess the thing up, like let's just delete that for whatever reason. Okay, so I want to regen the roof. So I click here and I'll just hit regenerate truss assembly, and it just puts everything all back. Okay, and that's something you need to be aware of. So if you manually edit this roof, right, there's no way really for the plugin to track manual edits. It's just like the same problem, well, not problem, but the same thing as in the SketchUp plugin. So when you regenerate or edit a truss assembly or roof, essentially, you are rebuilding. It's basically taking all the data associated with this roof, the metadata, I guess, and it's rebuilding it from scratch. Okay. So for instance, I want to edit this truss assembly. So we'll click here. We're going to hit edit. Now notice up here you have also pop up in the sidebar. You have the same things just for convenience, and you can hit the edit, and then it'll pop up all the same parameters that you had in the draw. So let's say I want to go to, say, a 512 pitch, and I want to change the wall sheathing. Maybe I want to change not the sheathing, the actual cladding. Maybe I'm going to change that to like a red or something. I only have built-in colors, by the way. I will be adding a custom material library, just like I have in SketchUp, but I haven't got that far quite yet. Okay, so there we go, and we just hit apply changes. And you can see now the roof updates, and bingo, everything is, set up nicely. All right, so let's take a quick peek inside this roof. I'm going to show you guys a little bit. I'm going to toggle this off, and let's open up this. What's going on here now? The organization, I've tried to logically order it essentially the same way I've ordered it in SketchUp. These, I guess, collections are called instead of layers. I'm not sure if it makes perfect sense for you longtime users of Blender, but this is my first crack at it. So, you know, based on feedback that I get from you guys, I'll know kind of how to massage things a little bit or change things up. But currently, this is the way I have it arranged. So you have your trusses, you have the Medeek collection, and then within the within that you'll have the Medeek Truss collection, and within that you will have any truss assemblies that you create. Now these are empty, essentially empty containers, and then with all that you have all of the, you know, the bits and pieces. But the nice thing is I'm putting things. If you've got you have the layers, right, or the not layers. I keep thinking of layers, but it's collections. Automatically, it's putting everything on certain collections. And so, like for instance, if I want to turn off, let's see what we've got here. I want to turn off the roof cladding, and right there, it's sometimes fun. Okay, so I want to just toggle that visibility, right, so I can see my OSB. So I'm going to turn off the roof sheathing. Okay, so now you can see the actual trusses. In fact, let's turn off the gable sheathing. And, you know, we're not deleting it; we're just toggling it off, of course, and then and the wall cladding as well. So we've got now just the truss visible. All right, so that's what I want to show you guys. So right, you've got a lot of options here with these trusses right now. Again, if we hit the edit, I'm going to go ahead and hit that edit again, edit assembly. You'll notice here under truss type, you have the full gamut of trusses, right? So let's go ahead and let's change this up to a fan truss. Hit apply changes, and you can see all the webs changed. And these are, you know, I would say these are 99% what you're going to get if you went to a truss company and they built your trusses. You've got, you know, the 1/4-inch butt cut here. It's sometimes a little hard to zoom in on this. That little 1/4-inch butt cut is industry standard, and you can change up these, you know, 2x4, 2x6, whatever you would need to do. You've got a lot of options here as well with regards to, let's see, what was I going to say? Oh, raised heels. So let's go ahead and set a raised heel in there. I'm just going to go with that 12-inch raised heel height. Hit apply changes. You can see what's happening here. Okay, so now you see we've got a slight raised heel, and we've added an additional strut into there, right? Also, too, you'll notice that we've got outlookers and, you know, the subfascia, the rake board, or bar draft, or they call it. But we've got structural outlookers set up, so we actually have a drop top cord on that gable end truss, which is pretty common. So you can set all those options. There's a whole lot of options, obviously, in this thing, probably more than most people want to see, because it gets to be so many that people that aren't really, you know, familiar with some of the construction industry, you know, they get a little confused. But yeah, just play with them a little bit, and, you know, and take a look at what you're generating, and I think you'll very quickly figure it out. So yeah, I mean, you can set things like the spacing of your gable end studs there and your gable end rafters or trusses. Right, so that's pretty much it. I think I've given you guys a quick intro to this. I don't want to go on to be too long-winded, but you have the ability to edit these, which makes them fully parametric. And as far as I know, you can move this assembly. I mean, if you take the whole assembly and move it wherever, you should be able to do that fine and regenerate it, and it shouldn't matter. Yeah, collection-wise, I think we're fairly well organized now. And I will be taking feedback from everyone and hopefully porting more of this plugin over. There's a lot more to do. I think the next thing I'll be working on is scissor trusses, and then probably after that, attic trusses. Those seem to be the most popular besides the common trusses. And then, of course, there's a whole slew of them that still need to be worked on. I mean, you can see in this matrix there's a lot here, but just the common trusses right now. And yeah, guys, send me emails, give me a call. Your feedback is highly valuable to me, and we will talk to you guys later. Thank you.